He's on the line right now. They're going to be in concert. We're talking about Journey and Def Leppard on July 3rd at the Ruoff Home Mortgage Center. And the new book is called Don't Stop Believin'. The Man, the Band, and the Song That Inspired Generations is the name of the book from Journey. It's our pleasure to welcome Jonathan Cain on the phone here. Hey, Jonathan, how you doing?
Hey, really good. Good to be with you guys this morning.
Thank you. It's great to have you here. How did you end up writing a book?
Well, I was the editor of my high school newspaper, and I had just enough knowledge to be dangerous. No, I've always, wanted to tell my story. There was a terrible school fire for those that haven't read the book in 1958. So that was part of it, and the other part of it was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Standing there on the stage with Steve and Neil and the guys, I felt like the fans had, lifted us and elevated us into this unbelievable place, and it was time to tell the story of how we got there.
In your book, you speak of the fans, and I thought this was really interesting when you talked about, going from the Babies to Journey, and you said you realized as you were starting to write for them that the Journey fans were gold-plated. What did that mean exactly?
They just adored the band, no matter what they did. They were loyal, loving, enthusiastic, like a fan base I had never seen before. It was, they just really loved the band a lot, and I used to sit out in the audience and watch it, and it was phenomenal.
Did you find that continued when you were looking for different lead singers?
Yeah. They stayed with us. I'm sure eyebrows were raised. And, Neil and I gambled on the idea that this music we created was, first of all, belonged to us. 2/3 of it belonged to Neil and I. Secondly, these songs and this music was bigger than any one person, including us. And that this music would carry on and that it meant something. And so, it was tough. I mean, that's all in the book there, Those were dark days, trying to find a replacement for, the great Steve Carrie. It's very, very difficult. And I think Arnell has been with us 12 years now. So how about that?
One of the things I want people to take away or to know about this book, to know about you, is what an amazing writer you are. I mean, these songs that we all grew up with, these songs that we've known and loved and used at weddings and everything else. You wrote so many of these songs. Is that something that came to you early on?
I really worked on it. It was something I studied. I was fascinated with what made a great song fit. I quit music school actually to write. I would study great songs. Why did they work? What makes them great? Including the old standards that I played when I was a kid.
Well, are you surprised that the ballads were some of your biggest hits?
No, not when you have a guy like Steve. I mean, one of the first things that he had said to me when I arrived and I went over to his house and it was just the two of us, he said, I really love to sing more ballads. My voice seems, my heart wants to sing these love songs. And he was falling in love with Sherry at that point, I think. Looking for a love song. And I say, well, I happen to have a few. Well, let's start with this one, Open Arms, And, so he had this idea like he had to do a solo album. I said, I don't think so. I think that your voice works good in the rock arena. I said, look at Neil Diamond. He's a rocker, and he still sings ballads. I mean,
right.
And you can sing just, you're amazing in the arena, Steve. Your voice is incredible. And the other thing is that in the arena where we play, there's so much space, for the notes. And ballads really come alive in the big arena. They just sound massive because they score. They're not.
Yes.
There's not a lot of notes.
Right.
And there's all this sort of ambience, and they just get huge. They're amazing. So first time we played Open Arms, I believe it was at the Omni in Atlanta, which is no longer there. We were right. They went crazy.
Jonathan, do you still keep in touch, or do you ever see Steve Perry, or ever talk to him, or you?
He's a fairly private person,
Yeah.
And he, when we moved on, he made a pact with us that we could pretty much lose his number.
Oh, okay.
It was one of those. And, he showed up at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, was so gracious and, seemed so grateful and so comfortable being in our camp that we see him from time to time. And what we do is communicate, about our publishing. He's always there to make sure the brand is used only for the highest quality usages.
Right.
So when they use Don't Stop Believing, it's not going to be for Burger King or something, We're not going there,
The name of the book, Don't Stop Believing, Jonathan Cain from Journey, the man, the band, and the song that inspired generations. And get it, like you said, for Father's Day. It's on audiobook. You narrate it, and you've got some extras in the audiobook version.
Yes, sir.
If you like Journey or have ever sang one of their songs in the car.
If you like Journey.
Oh, who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Yeah.
Well, we have some juicy bad English stories in there, too.
Right.
They're pretty funny. When I got to bad English, the wheels came off. I'm glad to be back in this band, I'll tell you that.
Jonathan, thank you on behalf of our listeners, for all the years of great memories and all the good times and all the fun times that you've brought us. You'll never understand what it's like, but we want to thank you for that.
Well, it's my pleasure talking to you. Thanks for supporting the book and the band, and we thank all our fans for being awesome all these years, for being gold-plated. Amen?
Yeah! All right, Jonathan.
We're going to leave it on that.
That's
very
perfect.
good. Thanks for talking with us today.
All right, thanks, Jim and Carrie. Bye-bye.
Having fun and playing the hits. Jim and Carrie.
You make it fun to listen to.
Fun 101.7.